You're going to see Sophie Cunningham having a good time, celebrating, and then you're going to watch the Fun Police. The Fun Police, Indiana Fever assistant coaches come in. Hey, you're having too much fun. Stop. Take a look. Let her point. She's pointing. She's having a good time. She's celebrating with the fans after a win. And here comes the Fun Police. Look, why are you knocking her arm down? Like, fall back. Sometimes y'all just gotta fall back. Look, you hitting her, push her arm down. Like, bro, y'all gotta relax. Y'all have got to relax. We don't need you policing us. Like, look, we just won a game. If I want to point to the crowd with my signature Sophie the Blonde Bomber point and have a good time and celebrate a win, let me be.
It lasted only a few seconds, but for Indiana Fever fans, it was enough to spark one of the biggest conversations surrounding the team this season. Right after the Fever secured the win, Sophie Cunningham turned toward the crowd to celebrate with one of her signature gestures. The arena was energized, teammates were enjoying the moment, and it looked like nothing more than a player soaking in a hard-earned victory. Then something unexpected happened. As Cunningham continued celebrating, an assistant coach stepped in and appeared to lower her arm, cutting the moment short. The interaction was brief, but almost instantly it became the clip everyone started replaying. On its own, the moment doesn't explain why the coach reacted that way. The footage shows the interaction, but it doesn't reveal the conversation, the intent, or what was said afterward. That's where the debate begins. Some viewers saw Coach simply trying to keep the team focused and move players toward the locker room. Others believe the moment represented something much larger, arguing that an emotional celebration was unnecessarily interrupted. The same few seconds produced two completely different interpretations. What makes this clip so fascinating isn't just what happened on camera, it's how quickly it spread beyond the game itself. Fans weren't only discussing a celebration anymore. They were asking whether this reflected the culture inside the Indiana Fever organization. Was this simply standard coaching discipline after a win, or was it another example of players and coaches viewing leadership differently? Those questions transformed an ordinary post-game scene into one of the most talked about moments surrounding the team. The clip continued circulating because everyone believed they were seeing something different. Some focused on the celebration. Others focused on the coach's reaction. But the biggest question remained unanswered. If this was just a routine interaction, why did it resonate so strongly with so many people? That unanswered question is what turned a few seconds of video into a much larger conversation, one that quickly expanded far beyond a single celebration. The reaction to this clip wasn't driven solely by what happened in those few seconds. If it had involved almost any other player, the moment might have disappeared within hours. But Sophie Cunningham occupies a unique place in the minds of many Fever fans. Over time, she has built a reputation as an emotional, energetic competitor who rarely hides her personality on the court. For supporters, that visible passion is part of what makes her appealing. So when viewers saw her celebration interrupted, many didn't interpret it as an isolated coaching decision. They interpreted it through the lens of everything they already believed about the player. The Fever's growing visibility also played a major role. Every interaction involving the team now receives far more attention than it would have just a few years ago. Cameras capture nearly every angle, clips spread instantly across social media, and fans analyze even the smallest moments frame by frame. In that environment, a brief exchange that once might have gone unnoticed can quickly become a national discussion. The more attention a team receives, the more every gesture begins carrying meaning beyond the moment itself. What's important is separating what viewers actually saw from what they concluded. The observable fact is simple: Cunningham was celebrating after a win, and an assistant coach appeared to intervene during that celebration. Beyond that, interpretation takes over. Some fans viewed the interaction as routine sideline management. Others saw it as unnecessary interference. Neither reaction came from new information. Both came from personal assumptions about leadership, player freedom, and team culture. As the clip continued spreading, frustration started replacing curiosity. Social media discussions shifted away from the celebration itself and toward broader questions about the organization. Fans began debating whether this reflected a larger pattern, whether coaches were connecting with players effectively, and whether leadership was helping or hurting team chemistry. Suddenly, the conversation wasn't about one celebration anymore. It was about trust. And that's what made the moment controversial. The clip became a vessel for concerns many fans were already carrying. Whether those concerns were justified or not, the reaction suggested that viewers weren't simply responding to one isolated interaction. They were responding to what they believed it represented. The real question now is whether this controversy began with a single moment, or whether that moment merely exposed frustrations that had been building for much longer. The debate surrounding this moment ultimately comes down to two very different philosophies of leadership, and both have arguments that deserve consideration. From a coaching perspective, maintaining discipline after an emotional win isn't unusual. Coaches are responsible for far more than the final score. They manage player focus, team image, and the standards they expect everyone to follow. A brief reminder to move on from a celebration could simply reflect a desire to keep those standards consistent, regardless of the circumstances. The footage alone doesn't reveal the coach's intent, making it impossible to conclude exactly why the interaction occurred. On the other hand, many fans viewed the same moment through an entirely different lens. To them, Sophie Cunningham's celebration represented confidence, personality, and the emotional energy that helps unite both teammates and supporters. They argued that authentic moments like these strengthen the connection between players and the fan base, especially for a team playing under an intense national spotlight. From that perspective, interrupting the celebration felt unnecessary, even if the coaching staff had no negative intention. This difference in interpretation quickly expanded beyond one post-game interaction. The conversation shifted toward a broader question: how much freedom should players have to express themselves without compromising team discipline? Some believe strong organizations are built on structure, consistency, and accountability. Others argue that the best teams embrace emotion because passion often fuels confidence, chemistry, and resilience. Neither philosophy is inherently right or wrong, which explains why the discussion became so polarized. The transcript also references reported tension between public expectations and the coaching staff's preferred approach, describing a contrast between fans wanting visible responses and a coaching philosophy centered on discipline and long-term strategy. Those descriptions are presented as reported claims within the video, not independently verified facts. That distinction matters because the public only sees brief moments on the court, while coaches make decisions based on countless interactions that never become public. At the same time, perception has become part of modern sports. Even if a decision is made with the best intentions, fans inevitably judge what they can see. In this case, a few seconds of video became a symbol of a much larger conversation about leadership, communication, and the balance between maintaining order and allowing personalities to shine. And as the debate continued to grow, the focus began shifting away from what happened in that moment to what it might reveal about the Indiana Fever moving forward. Before long, the conversation had moved far beyond a single post-game celebration. What began as a short clip shared across social media quickly found its way into sports talk shows, reaction channels, and online debates, where the discussion shifted from what happened to what it might mean. Every replay introduced another interpretation, and each new opinion added another layer to the story. In today's sports landscape, a viral moment doesn't stay isolated for long, it evolves as more voices join the conversation. Television commentary helped fuel that expansion. Some analysts focused on the increasingly physical nature of the WNBA and broader discussions surrounding player treatment, while others questioned whether the public was reading too much into a routine coaching interaction. Those conversations didn't provide a definitive answer, but they elevated the topic from a sideline moment into a national sports discussion. At the same time, the video highlighted reported viewership numbers surrounding the Indiana Fever and ESPN's Women's Sports Sundays, using those figures to argue that the franchise has become one of the league's biggest attractions. While the reported ratings themselves are factual, the broader conclusion, that every coaching decision now carries greater public consequences, remains an interpretation rather than a measurable fact. As more fans weighed in online, the discussion gradually stopped being about Sophie Cunningham's celebration alone. Instead, many comments centered on leadership, communication, and whether the coaching staff was connecting with both its players and its rapidly growing fan base. Others pushed back, arguing that isolated clips rarely capture the full context of what happens inside a professional organization. That divide kept the debate alive because neither side could point to complete evidence beyond the brief interaction everyone had already seen. This is often how modern sports narratives develop. A single clip sparks attention, media coverage amplifies the discussion, social media encourages thousands of competing interpretations, and eventually the focus shifts from one incident to the reputation of an entire organization. Whether those perceptions accurately reflect reality is a separate question, but once enough people begin discussing leadership instead of the original play, public perception can become part of the story itself. And that's exactly where the Indiana Fever found themselves, no longer responding to one viral moment, but to the much larger narrative that had formed around it. As the discussion continued to spread, the line between verified information and online speculation became increasingly blurred. That's common with viral sports stories. A real event happens on camera, public reaction builds momentum, and before long, theories begin circulating alongside confirmed facts. To understand what this story actually tells us, it's important to separate what can be verified from what remains interpretation. The confirmed facts are relatively straightforward. Sophie Cunningham celebrated following the Indiana Fever's victory, and broadcast footage shows an assistant coach stepping in and appearing to lower her arm during that celebration. Those events are visible on video and form the foundation of the entire discussion. The transcript also references reported television ratings and public commentaries surrounding the Fever's growing popularity, which are presented as reported information rather than speculation. From there, the conversation becomes far less certain. Many fans interpreted the interaction as evidence that the coaching staff was discouraging player expression or failing to embrace the personalities that have helped attract new audiences. Others viewed the same clip as routine coaching, arguing that a brief sideline interaction cannot reveal the internal culture of an entire organization. Those opinions reflect genuine public reaction, but they remain interpretations rather than established facts. The video also introduces claims about reported internal disagreement, possible locker room tension, and rumors involving the long-term futures of key players. However, these claims are presented within the video as reports or rumors and are not independently verified by the footage itself. Likewise, suggestions of a locker room mutiny, multiple stars preparing to leave the franchise, or the organization facing imminent collapse should be treated as speculation unless supported by confirmed reporting. That distinction matters because viral narratives often grow faster than verified information. Every new reaction, headline, or social media post can make speculation feel increasingly credible simply through repetition. But repetition is not confirmation. The only conclusion supported by the available evidence is that a brief coaching interaction sparked an unusually large public debate. Everything beyond that, from the team's internal dynamics to its long-term future, requires additional evidence before it can be presented as fact. And as the conversation continued, the biggest question was no longer what happened in those few seconds, but whether the organization would address the perception that had formed around them. Now the focus shifts from what happened to what happens next. Viral moments eventually fade, but the way an organization responds can determine whether a story disappears or becomes part of a larger narrative. For the Indiana Fever, the celebration itself is already in the past. The bigger question is how the team moves forward while balancing player expression, coaching authority, and the expectations of one of the fastest-growing fan bases in basketball. One possibility is that nothing changes at all. The coaching staff may view the interaction as routine and continue emphasizing consistency and discipline, believing that isolated clips shouldn't dictate how a professional team operates. From that perspective, maintaining the same standards regardless of public reaction reinforces stability rather than responding emotionally to outside criticism. Fans may not agree with every decision, but organizations often prioritize long-term culture over short-term perception. Another possibility is that future public interactions naturally reshape the conversation. A visible show of support between coaches and players, a strong stretch of on-court performances, or clear communication during interviews could quickly redirect attention away from this single moment. In professional sports, winning has a way of changing narratives, and stories that dominate headlines one week can lose momentum once the focus returns to basketball. At the same time, public perception has become an unavoidable part of modern sports. Every sideline exchange, post-game celebration, and press conference is analyzed almost instantly, especially for teams drawing national attention. That doesn't mean every interpretation is accurate, but it does mean organizations must recognize that even ordinary moments can influence how fans view leadership. Managing that perception has become nearly as important as managing the game itself. For now, the confirmed story remains relatively simple. A brief coaching interaction sparked widespread discussion and encouraged fans to debate leadership, culture, and player expression. Beyond that, claims about internal conflict or future roster decisions remain unverified and should be treated accordingly. Ultimately, the next chapter won't be written by social media posts or viral clips. It will be shaped by what happens on the court, how the team communicates, and whether future events reinforce or contradict the narrative that has emerged. If this was simply an isolated moment, time will likely prove it. But if similar situations continue to surface, the conversation will inevitably grow louder. Until then, the most important developments are still ahead, and the next few weeks may reveal far more than those few seconds ever could.